Hi everyone, it's Sue. I hope you're doing really well. I'm here today with a design team project for Clear Black Creations. So this is my November design team project and it will be going up at the end of October. I've never been this organized, I don't know what's going on, but I was really inspired by this gorgeous kit from Brygida. It's called Winter Whisper and it's the writing version of the kit, so you can get the Winter Whisper without the letters and what have you in it. Now originally I did get this beautiful birds, I think it's called, let me just have a quick look, Birds and Blooms, which is absolutely stunning as well, and I was going to use it, but when I saw this one I just fell in love with it. It is so pretty. I said to Brygida, I just feel like crying. I don't know why. Happy tears. It's just really calming and the colours are stunning and I just love everything about it. So Brygida, you have done an amazing job with this one. So we're going to make something with this and I'll show you through that in a second. But while I've got this one printed out, I thought I may as well show you what it looks like. Excuse me. We've got everybody here at home today as well, once again, so it might be a little bit noisy, and just thought I'd let you know that in advance. So this is the Birds and Blooms, so pretty self-explanatory, birds and blooms, birds and flowers, and it is just beautiful as well. It's got gorgeous ledges in the background. Love it, absolutely love it. So I'll definitely be using this. So the project I'm thinking of today, I think I'll be making another one using this kit as well, but I won't have time to do that in this video. But just absolutely beautiful, isn't it? So as I said, that one is Birds and Blooms. I'll put the details in the description box, and that is Clear Black Creations. Okay, so I'll just give you a run through of this one. So this is the one that I'm going to be using today. I have printed it on 200 GSM digital paper, and we're going to be doubling it up, so it's going to be quite sturdy once this project is finished. So this is, I think I've printed one of these out twice. I may be wrong, but I think I have, but I don't care. I'm going to use it anyway. I just love like this green and the purpley blue or tealy blue. I'm sorry, Brygida, if it's, I don't know the color, but it just makes me feel happy. That one. No, is that? Okay, so that one I've printed out twice accidentally. I'll just pop that to the side for the moment. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm thinking of making a little ephemera booklet because I've got lots of die cuts that look similar to this. To me it looks a little bit like a eucalyptus. I know it's probably not that, but I love leaves and all that sort of thing. So I thought I'm going to make an ephemera folder that I can just put all those sort of die cuts in. So leaves, all this sort of thing. All right, so we're going to get started. Boom Boom saying hi now. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cut this. This is on A4 and I think it's available in US letter size as well. So I'm going to just find my extender here. Okay, well that took a bit. Trying to find that. So I just want to make sure of the measurements of this. I'm going to do it about there. Hopefully that's about halfway. Pretty perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to go through and cut all these sheets in half. Okay, so I've cut all those in half. Some of them aren't exact, but that's okay. This is pretty forgiving. We can work that out. So you can make this little ephemera folder any size you like. You can put as many pages as you like. This I think was a six page kit, so I've just using all of those. So essentially I will have 6 pages in this ephemera folder. All right, now first steps, you will also need some vellum or some acetate, or you can just have some, print one of these out again and have some of the digital as well. So I just need to work out what I'm going to use as my front cover. I mean, they're all so beautiful, aren't they? Those are contenders. Okay, so this is going to be my front cover, and I want something for the back cover as well. I think I'm going to have that one. Okay, so now we just need to double up, so back to front like that. It doesn't really matter. I'm not going to think about it too much, although I want to think about what's on that page. So I'm going to go like that. Like that. That. And then that's goes there. So basically I've just made my pages and I've just worked out what I want front and back. So as you're flipping, these will be glued and sewn together, and this is what you'll see as you're flipping through your ephemera folder. So I hope that makes sense. So these are, if you want measurements, are approximately 5 3/4 wide by 8 1/4 high. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go through and I'm going to roughly glue those pages together. Now I'm just going to make sure that I get as much glue as I can in the center, just to keep it all together, because I'm going to sew around the sides. You can use wet glue if you like. Just for this, I prefer to use just a stick glue, and I'm just using my favorite glue from Kmart here in Australia. So, all right, I'm just going to speed up the video while I just glue these pages together. I've glued all those pages together. So that's what I was meaning. We're just making pages for a book. So they're quite firm now. I'm just making sure I've got them in place where I want them to be. And then I'm going to sew around all the edges, distress them, and ink them up. Yes, I'm very happy with that. I actually think I'm just going to change that and put that one at the back. All right, so next step is just to sew all around them and distress them and ink them. I've sewn around all of those, and a couple of these were a little bit out of whack. I'm not going to be able to see them now, and you probably, I mean, you can't even really notice. You can see there's a little bit of an edge, like, fraction, probably a millimeter. I'm not even going to trim that. If that concerns you, you can trim that down. But because I'm going to distress all the edges with my Tim Holtz Distress tool, you're not even going to see that, okay? I'm quickly just going to distress all the edges and ink around them, and then we'll get on to the next step. So that's all distressed and inked around. I think it finishes off. If you like a clean finish, you don't have to do that step, that's fine. You don't have to sew. If you don't sew, just make sure that you use a liquid glue or a really strong tape right to the edge so these pages don't lift. So the next step is to get your vellum or your acetate or just your card. You don't have to have anything see-through. I just prefer to have see-through pieces. Just it makes it easier to see what is in there in your pockets. I'm just going to cut down a couple of sheets. Now, so I'm going to cut these in half, and they should pretty much, because this is A4 as well, so they should pretty much fit across the width of that booklet there, the pages. Pretty much. We might have to trim them down a little bit, but that's okay. We might even start this one. That one fits better, so we'll cut our pieces. So I like to make some bigger pockets. I like to make some skinnier pockets because some of the die cuts are smaller than others. I'm going to do maybe a couple of 3-inch pockets. So remembering they're the width of your pages, and then whatever size pockets you want. So 3, we've got a little bit here. We may as well just keep that as a pocket. We're going to, so there's no wastage really. I'm going to do maybe 1.5 inches. Do a few 1.5 inches. This piece is left over and it's just over 2 inches, so we're going to keep that. I don't keep it all uniform, it doesn't matter. So we may need a few more bits. So I'm just going to trim a slither off this just so that we don't have to worry about trimming down the pocket when we glue them in. Probably even have a little bit more off it. And I'll cut the same, so I might do 2 inches. A couple of 2-inch pockets. What have we got there? And I'll just do 2-inch. We can always cut more if we need them. So the next step, so we're leaving the front as it is. I may even put a label or something on there once we've got it together. We'll see what happens. Okay, so with the pages that have the beautiful flowers and that down the bottom, I want to probably put a larger pocket there. Or we can put smaller ones, but whichever. I mean, you can still see through them with using the vellum or the acetate. That's why I was thinking clear, because you don't want to cover up the patterns too much. Obviously you're going to have things in the pockets, but when you take them out you can see the gorgeous papers. So I'm thinking I might do just a larger one there, and then with a smaller one here at the top. A step that you can do is stitch the top. I just like to have a stitched edge just so it defines where the pocket is. So you can just stitch the top edge and then glue them down, and then sew your pages together so that it encases these pockets all together, which is what I should have done. So that's one thing that I should have done, because I'm not going to have stitching showing on all of these pockets now, but that's okay. We're going to stitch the top just so that we can define where the pocket, top of the pocket is. And I think I may even go and stitch. I may even just stitch around the whole 4 sides. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'll go and do that now. If you are creating this folio along with me, I apologize. So this probably would save you a lot of sewing. It's a good thing I like sewing. You maybe not so much, but you probably would have been better off sewing the top part and the bottom part of your pockets and then gluing them down, and then your pocket would be encased in your page as you sew it. It doesn't matter. It all works out the same in the end. So I have just sewn around all of these pockets on all 4 sides. I do think I'm going to need more, but that's okay. We will start with these, and I'm going to just use art glitter glue if I can find what I've done with it. It's right in front of me. I'm having trouble with my nozzle. I need to go and run it through some hot water. So I'll see if it was going to work. No. So I'm going to, as I said, start with this bigger pocket here, and I'm just going to glue 3 sides. And I guess doing it this way as well, I can do the glue on the top or on the stitching, so you're not going to see the glue so much through the vellum. You'll still see a little bit of it, but once it's full of die cuts or whatever you're going to put in there, that's not going to be noticeable. So on all of these pockets, when you glue them down, just glue them on 3 sides. Try not to get too much without that fine nozzle on there. And just glue them in place. So that's a big one. I may even just leave that as one big one on that page, I think. So it gives me the chance to put some longer die cuts, what have you, in there, and you still get to see all that beautiful image. All right, so we're going to go on to our next page. put all the pockets, the vellum pockets in. I haven't really thought too much about where I've put them. The spacing between them aren't perfect. I'm not after perfection. So once you get all your ephemera pieces in there, you're not even going to notice. So it's looking really lovely, I think. I did have to cut more vellum and sew around more vellum because I didn't have enough. I think in total I used about 1.5 sheets of vellum, and I've still got a pocket left over. Alrighty, so it's coming together quite nicely. I like to leave my threads hanging, and I'm going to keep them there. As I said earlier on, you can actually trim them off if you wish. The next step is I'm going to use some fabric for the tabs. So I'm just using this motley fabric here, which matches in with the written pieces, and it's about 1 inch approximately. I've just torn it about 1 inch by 2 inches. Okay, I have sewn on some just to show you, and I'll show you what I do with them. You don't have to sew, you can just have the raw edges. I just keeping that whole sewing theme going. Now I do need to, this isn't going to finish the whole booklet, so I do need to have some more tabs, fabric tabs, and I've torn this off a piece of fabric this morning, and I need to straighten it. So I just use my hair straightener. I normally do have a little one. My craft space, my workspace is in such a huge mess at the moment, I can't locate it. So I've just grabbed this out of my bathroom. So you just need to heat it, let it heat up a bit. So I try to get rid of any of the excess threads first. I think I'm going to only need one strip, we'll see. So just while that's heating up, I'm just going to take those excess threads off. This way as well with the sewing, the fabric's not going to fray any further than the sewing, so your booklet's not ever going to fall apart. That's my way of thinking. Okay, so this should be hot enough now, and I'm just going to run this through because I want it straight, just so that I can sew on it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this to my sewing machine. I'm just going to cut those selvage bits off, and I'm just going to sew along here and down each side and finish it off on the other end. And then I'm going to cut my tabs. So this was just to show you, and I'll show you what I do with them once I've cut them. So as you can see, I've sewn on all the sides, and then I've just sewn the ends closed here as well. What I'm going to do, as I'll use this piece up first, is I'm just going to roughly measure. They don't have to be perfect, about 2 inches. Now I've dropped my scissors and they're all out of balance, so I'm just going to grab my sewing shears for this. So approximately 1 inch by 2 inch. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the sewing machine, and I'm going to sew a line on each end of these. So you can see here I've sewn one side and I've just put it through and done a chain stitch all the way through. So now what I need to do is just go through and sew the other side, and I think what I'll do just to make it a bit easier is just to clip them and then start feeding them through and sew the other side. Okay, so they're all done. And now we're going to construct our book. So we need to grab our pages and we're going to start with 3 tabs. So we grab the front page, okay? So we're going to have 3 tabs on the front. So I put it about halfway, half the width of the tab. I'm not measuring. If you want to be more precise, you can measure. I am just eyeballing it. So that's what we're going to have. So I'll probably do the top and the bottom and then just put this one in the middle. So we're just going to add some glue. So just like that, and I'm just going to put it about halfway, glue that down and do the same with the top one. You want enough on there obviously so that the fabric's not going to come off, but I'm trying not to get too much on there so that it seeps through the fabric. Okay, and then we'll put the center one in. And as I said, I'm just eyeballing it, so I don't know, about there, I think. So you've got your first 3 tabs. Okay, so we're going to tip it over like this, and you're going to bring your next page over here, and we want to put 2 tabs. So one here and one here. So what I try and do is I line up on my grid the base of the pages so that they're on a straight line there, and we're going to add 2 tabs here. Just in the middle of those 3. Once again, I'm just eyeballing it. Okay, and another one. This is the fun part because you see it all coming together. Okay, so once you've got those done, what you need to do now is put that on top of that. I like to just tap it on my desk, and we're going to glue over the first tabs that we put on. So we're going to glue the 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the same thing, we're just going to add glue, and we're just going to pull it over. You can make these looser or as tight as you like. I'm making mine quite firm. So 1, 2, you can see that tab's longer, I'm not concerned, and 3. Okay, so we leave these 2 tabs out, and we have our first page. So now you grab your next page, and we're going to add 3 tabs. And just basically line it up with these 3 tabs that you've already put on there. So you've got those 3 tabs glued up there, and they're in line with those 3. Same thing, we're going to fold that over, tap it to the bottom. Now, the first time we glued the 3 tabs, this time we're going to glue the 2. And we're going to alternate that all the way till the end. Now you'll see here, this tab is going to close up this pocket a little bit on the side here. The only way you can get around that is by doing precise measurements, and I think that that just takes the fun out of it all. It's only like 1.5 centimeters of the pocket that you lose. I don't think it's a big deal. And the same here. And you can see where it's going. We're getting a nice little booklet. Okay, so we've got 3 tabs left. So this one, we're going to grab our next page. I'm just lining it up on my grid. And I'm going to add 2. We're going to tip it over. So we glued 2 last time. This time we're going to glue 3. And just repeat the process again. This time we're going to have 3 tabs, glue on 3 tabs. lovely little project to do to get your bits and pieces in order. Great for friend mail. Be great as a gift. You could make one and fill it with die cuts or, you know, printables that you've cut out, that sort of thing. Okay, so we've got 2 tabs left. We're going to tip it over, and we're not sewing, sorry, we're gluing those 2 tabs. I'm just going to tip this one over, just tap it down, and for the last page we're going to glue down these last 3 tabs. Oh, I love it. It's gorgeous. And there you have a beautiful ephemera holder. You can see. And then it's all just sealed at the back as well. So you imagine that filled with all your ephemera. It's just beautiful. You can put a closure on it if you like. And that's what it looks like from the side. Beautiful. I'm going to put a label here. So this is from Brygida's shop as well. This is the nostalgia labels. These are my favorite labels. Great value. Really well worth getting and having in your stash. It comes in lots of different, I don't think I've got any more printed out. I've got a few here. So I've made these a little bit smaller. I think I've done them so that I couldn't do them as a percentage. I've done them as if I'm printing them on 5x7 paper. So these are just some of the other ones, and there's quite a few. I'll put the link down to that kit as well, or at least the kit to the link to Brygida's shop. And I'll probably end up writing on this what I'm actually housing in here. So as I said, my intention is for all the you know, the vines, the leaves, all the botanical die cuts. I may change my mind yet. I'll have a look at it for a bit and hold it and see what I decide to do. So for now I'm going to leave the label blank, and I will write on it later on. A little midgie. Just do that, and I think I need some cheesecloth under that. It's funny, you know, I'm not a huge lover of blue, but I think my tastes are changing. I've really been drawn to a lot of blue papers lately. Sorry, there's a little midgie flying around. I've got the doors open to let the breeze in. And I just absolutely love this kit. As I said, it just makes me so happy. I feel like crying happy tears. It's just stunning. And I don't think the video really shows it up as lovely as it is in real life. So I'm just taking away excess. I would normally wait until the glue was dry, but for the sake of the video. So there we have a lovely little ephemera holder. Let me know what you think. I really enjoyed putting it together. There are a few steps to it, and if you don't sew, obviously it will come together a lot quicker. I like the sewn effect, So that's why I have gone with that. I just love it. So I'll just do one more flip through for you. And it's really sturdy. It's amazing how these little tabs are quite sturdy for the binding. So I'm excited to fill that. Beautiful range. So Clear Black Creations. Head over please and check out Brygida's Etsy store. She's got some gorgeous digitals there. This is my favorite label kit. I'll put the link down below for that as well. And this is just an absolutely stunning kit. So I hope you had fun with that. I hope you were able to craft along with me. If not, I'd love to see. I would love to see your creation if you do eventually craft along with me. I do have a Facebook group. I will also have the link in the description for that. If you'd like to join, you can share all your creations with us in that group there. All right, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you're all keeping really well, and until next time, I hope you get a little bit of creative time in. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.